My presentation is going to be about Martin Luther King Jr. He was an American Baptist minister and activist who became the most visible spokesperson and leader of the Civil Rights Movement from 1954 until his death in 1968. King is best known for advancing civil rights through nonviolence and civil disobedience tactics. His Christian beliefs and the nonviolent activism of Mahatma Gandhi helped inspire. King led the 1955 Montgomery bus boycott and in 1957 became the first president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. He led an unsuccessful 1962 struggle against the segregation in Albany, Georgia, and helped organize the nonviolent 1963 protests in Birmingham, Alabama. He also helped organize the 1963 March on Washington, where he delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech. On October 14, 1964, King won the Nobel Peace Prize for combating racial inequality throughout nonviolent resistance. In 1965, he helped organize the Selma to Montgomery marches. The following years, he and the SCLC took the movement north to Chicago to work on a segregated housing. In his final years, he expanded his focus to include opposition towards poverty and the Vietnam War. He alienated many of his liberal allies with a 1967 speech titled Beyond Vietnam. In 1968, King was planning a national occupation of Washington, D.C., to be called Poor People's Campaign. When he was assassinated on April 4th in Memphis, Tennessee, his death was followed by riots in many U.S. cities. Allegations that James Earl Ray, the man convicted and imprisoned of killing King, had been framed or acted in concert with government agents persisted for decades after the shooting. Sentenced to 99 years in prison for King's murder, effectively a life sentence as Ray was 41 at the time of the conviction. King was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Congressional Gold Medal. Martin Luther King Jr. Day was established as a holiday in numerous cities and states beginning in 1971. The holiday was enacted at the federal level by legislation signed by President Ronald Reagan in 1986. Hundreds of streets in the U.S. have been renamed in his honor, and a county in Washington state was also dedicated for him. The Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. was dedicated in 2011. That was my presentation, and thanks for me.